Who?
Zambinho.
Okay. Mozambique.
Just
Okay,
wait
but I
this.
didn't start my video. You're talking too soon.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so hold on. Hola. This is Judy Gaines. I am still in Mozambique, and we've been Mozambique. I'm trying to find coffee in the situation here, and we stumbled upon this farm that actually is in one of the better shapes. I mean, there's a fair amount of coffee here. So here it is. Now, it's not great, I mean, but it is so much better than other things we've seen. Normally there would be 14 to 18. This is the on-year crop, so you'd expect it to be 14 to 18 around the Rosetta. And here there's 3, 7, 9. So it's certainly missing. It's not full, but it is. So you see, certainly there were signs of portion of the crop here, but at least they have coffee. I mean, there's something to harvest here. And there's no explanation of why this particular farm did better than the one 2 minutes down the road. It's not without problems. There isn't much growth for 22-23. So they have coffee now, but they're not going to have much for the next season's crop. See the difference in the size. So these trees put out the crop, but not the leaves. I guess this is looking better. But next year here isn't going to be good. And it's the same for the whole area. Yep.
And by the way, let me tell you one thing. I don't know if they fertilized us 2 years ago, so, and you see that the growth doesn't work. So he will fertilize it, he will harvest, and probably he will not harvest this for next year. He will need to skeletonize it again, so it's going to be a zero crop for 2023.
All right. So, let me start midway here. I was just a row apart, so I was there on that side, and that was where I was, wow, there's coffee here, and everything looked so much better than all the other places, and couldn't explain why there was coffee on that side, and then just walked here and look at the difference. It's just absolutely incredible. So here there was an abundance of coffee compared to every place else, and every tree had coffee, and on this side we're back to nothing. Ganes. I'm in Guaxupe at 1,070 meters at this coffee farm, which is by far the farm with the most coffee that I've seen yet. Okay, so between this trip and the last trip, this certainly has an abundance of coffee here. It is not without problems. Okay, you could see that in here, but there's certainly a decent amount of coffee here. And it's on both sides. It's pretty full. There are some problems with disease. And I saw some on a couple of other trees. But relatively speaking, this farm is in pretty great shape. Higher elevation, maybe they're treating the soil, they're doing something here, but they managed to do much better than anybody else that I've seen. Oh, there are some spots. Okay, so in here it's a little more bare. Okay, so this isn't right here, but there was a lot of coffee on the other side. Here I am on this farm that actually is more coffee than any of the others I've seen in Guaxupe. Problem is they also have some disease. I don't know how bad it's going to get. They're probably treating it, but there's quite a bit of it here throughout the tree, and this absolutely is going to compromise the quality. So they have quantity, but they're not going to have the quality. Back to an area where I was in December, standing pretty much the same spot to view the crop and see what has happened. This farm is up on a hilltop and is one of the ones with more coffee than others in the area, although when you look at it, it certainly doesn't look like very much. So I'm in Fino now at a farm where I was here 2 months ago, and one of the big things I'm noticing is the lack of vegetation. So compared to other farms that I was on, in Minas Gerais, this is on the border of Minas Gerais and in Sao Paulo state, but there's visibly less vegetative growth here, which would mean a shorter 22-23 crop. This farm should have done 80 bags per hectare. I'm being told that it might do about 40. So there's a lot of signs of the aborted flowerings and some crop drop. You can see it all here. So certainly, I mean, should have been closer to that, but you just don't have that here. Branches that aren't hitting directly in the sun have a little more coffee. Right. This branch, there's absolutely no coffee on it.
Tem que repetir. 4 anos. Esse calor que
There
deu
should have
aqui.
been, but there's none.
Sabe o que acontece? Todo mundo abandona o café e põe outra coisa.
See how much
Quando você
fell
for
off.
para Pinhal, se for você sair e for para Campinas, você vai fazer.
É como se você tivesse
So here's a
pasto.
fairly large
No futuro
cluster, a
vai virar
bunch
tudo
of
soja.
branches
Você tá entendendo? Você pega uma área que
together.
tá
So
aquela
we have the
lavourinha,
formation
aí
here,
o cara vai plantar soja
this
e ele
side,
tem aquela
but
área
then
na
look at
frente. Que vou
the rest of the
mudar.
tree.
O que, que ele faz? Ele
where
pega
there's
aqui, vou
hardly
plantar
anything.
soja aqui, eu vou arrancar esse café que eu faço uma área, um campo maior de soja. É a praticidade.
Vai acontecer.
Vai.
Cara, e o Beltrán tá melhor agora dele? Você sabe? Você não informação?
Beltrán é pro Guaçu, é o lugar mais quente, é pior.
And again,
vai
when you
pra
look at it,
é
there
antes do
just
autódromo.
isn't much
Sim, mas quanto antes?
vegetative growth here.
Quanto antes?
Ah, mas é antes, eu só tô
É
perguntando.
antes.
Tá melhor ou pior?
So this is Judy Gaines. I'm at a farm in Fino in the border of Sao Paulo and Minas Gerais, and looking at this farm that was pruned in September. Essentially, there was 3 months of no growth. So that's about, there's 9 months of the year where the tree has a growth period, and it lost 3 months. So that sets it behind for 22-23. See here that the growth really should have been much more. It should have been another 6-7 inches, and it's not. So you wouldn't expect to see coffee here because these trees were pruned, but you would expect to see much better growth than we have here. So this is a 2-year crop problem. Let me come to this row here, and you could just see the lack of growth from what it should be. So what we'll have is a lighter 22-23 crop, and then 23-24 would presumably be much better. Here's another farm which this plantation is just devastated by the drought.
Good. Look at these, look at the side.
Completely all around. So there's very little vegetative growth. So we've lost 21-22 crop and 22-23 here. The significance in looking at this is that you could actually, on the hillside, see the clear definition of the rows and land between them, and that's because there was a lot of defoliation. If this is the time for the greatest foliage for the plant, and you would normally not be able to delineate the rows as clearly as this because of all the defoliation you can.
Marcelo, a primeira impressão que tinha fruta nessa
Ok.
lavoura, não é?
Lá atrás, sim.
Hã? Where it fruit? Where?
That's fantastic.
It doesn't
How many liters?
Yeah.
work.
Ah, good. Look. How many liters?
This is three. This is a harvest machine area. So you're gonna spend a day for just harvest one truck. Okay, because doesn't really work.
Marcelo, vou falar em português, tenta traduzir para ela, por favor. É isso. Yeah. Jude, choose the trees. Choose.
Here's some.
This one? Judy, here, oh, look.
Ah, look at this. This crop is pruning, but the big problem, not developing. Is small, and the internode is very near.
Bom dia.
Oi. Tudo bem, né? Tá
Bom
gravando?
dia.
Okay.
Tá gravando?
Bom dia. So it's beautiful here.
É muito bonito aqui, né, Sademir?
Bonita. So, how much coffee is here? How many
O
trees?
senhor tem
Or
muito
the
café?
production?
Quanto café?
Ah, tem 10 mil pé.
10,000 coffee trees.
10,000 coffee trees. Okay.
10 mil pé tem.
And the production last year?
A produção ano passado
Ah, a produção foi boa. Esse ano é 20%, ó.
é o
20%, não dá mais.
last year was a good production.
Okay.
This year is going to be 20% of last year. Vai ser 20% do que o senhor produziu ano
Isso,
passado.
20%, será 20%.
Okay, but was last year off year or on year for him?
O,
Because
o ano
20%
passado
isn't
foi
so
ano
much.
cheio. pro senhor.
Foi cheio, foi capitão demais.
Was a non-year, on year.
On year and only seeing a 20% drop.
No. It's not the. It's 80% drop. He
Oh.
will harvest only 20%.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay.
That was I was just saying.
Yeah.
I was just saying that
Wow.
he's going to harvest 20% of
Ooh.
the last year.
I was going to say, oh, just 20%. That's like a normal off year.
No.
Wow. Okay.
No.
And it's so lush and beautiful. It's just spectacular. And are you seeing?
Ela está falando que ela queria só entender que o senhor vai produzir 20%
20%.
do que os
Yeah.
He's
20%,
going to
mas-
harvest only 20% of the total 100%.
Deu demais,
Wow.
deu demais. Deu muita coisa.
Is he optimistic for the next year for 22-23, or he sees limited vegetative growth?
O senhor está otimista, pelo menos com a safra do outro ano de
Tá,
22?
tá,
Tá
perfeitamente.
melhor? Vai estar melhor
melhor,
ou o
22 é melhor.
crescimento das guias está pequeno?
Não, aqui, aqui a água esse ano será 20%. O outro ano produz bastante.
In the next year, 22-23, he
22
will
vai
harvest
bastante.
more coffee. Okay?
Right. But will it be the same as last year or a little less?
O senhor acha que vai ser em
Or more?
2022 ou 2023? O senhor acha que o senhor vai conseguir bater o recorde
Vai
do ano
bater, vai bater.
passado ou vai
Bate,
ser mais ou
bate.
menos?
Bate.
He's just saying that he will be producing
que bate.
more.
Okay.
Meu Deus, vai bater.
He's lucky.
Bom pro senhor. Good for you.
Okay.
Vai bater.
Yeah.
Seu nome é?
Ademir Cândido.
His name is Ademir Cândido.
Okay. Admir, I hope that for you, the next year gives you double.
Ela espera, senhor Ademir, que pro ano que vem o senhor tem o dobro que o senhor colheu.
É, graças a Deus, Deus fala tudo, né? Deus fala tudo.
Amém.
Okay.
Obrigado.
Currently at the top of this hillside, and this is all going to be hand-picked. There's no way to get the machine up here. But there is coffee up here because it is at a very high altitude. Here's coffee with, we're at 1,322 meters. So you can see this is all hand-picked coffee. And there's certainly a lot of soil moisture because of the high elevation. It's just absolutely spectacular up here. But there is coffee at these high elevations.